Let's start with an introduction. Some of you here are practitioners. Some of you here are, obviously more introductory in terms of you've not been that advanced in your career. But whatever the situation you find yourself, this is a program, whether you're refreshing or whether you're new to HR, this is a program that will fulfill your career objectives. Okay, so this is the agenda. Whatever it is that you aim to achieve will be our focus points. When we go to any of those topics or those areas, we'll make sure that we lay emphasis there to obviously ensure that your learning objectives are met. Because all of us come from different environments, and some of us have pain points. We might have issues that are really troublesome for us at work. The more troublesome, the better. So please feel free to bring up any issues that fall in any of these categories that we'll be dealing with today. Of course, we have an agenda, and we'll try. Of course, we need to stick to the scope. But still, I believe that in a lot of these areas, you have particularly troublesome areas that you want to discuss. If you look at the agenda, without you reading word for word what we have on the agenda, you see it's quite jam-packed. It's intense. You said you were looking for an intensive program. Intensive is definitely what it is. You can see that we try to cover every key aspect of human resources management. And the interesting thing about this program is that it cuts across. Now, someone might say, how could you develop a program that is just as good for freshers and as well as people who are experienced? But the truth is that you may have 20 years experience in human resources, but like yourself, she mentioned, you haven't been through any formal training. You might be doing it for 20 years the wrong way, so to speak. You might not be technically savvy in terms of, so you might have the experience. If it's of any importance to you, directors have actually taken this program. And of course, anyone who's a director probably has been working, and these were directors in civil service, they've been working for about 30 years in civil service, but they still thought that it was good to take the program. Why? Because it would make sure that they are all singing from the same hymn book. Because if we have all a combined experience of 100 years in this classroom, if we have different ideas of what key concepts are, we would still not be, if we had to roll out strategies, they would not be consistent because we have different understandings. So it's a good refresher, it's also a good introduction, and it's also a reminder that, okay, this is what these key concepts, obviously this is how to apply these key concepts in the workplace. Okay. So a good place to start with any program is an introduction. Yes? Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to look at two definitions of human resources management. And there's a reason for these two definitions. I like both of them, and I would like to get your opinion on these two definitions of human resources management. The first is by Michelangelo. Can somebody help me with that definition? What does it say?
Human resource management, HR, is a systematic approach to the management of an organization's employees.
Sounds like a very simple, systematic approach to the management of an. Okay, I knew that. Can somebody help me with the second definition, please? What does it say about human resources management?
Human resource management is a function performed in an organization that facilitates the most effective use of people, employees, to achieve organizational and individual goals.
Does it make sense? Did you think does it tally with what you know?
Yes.
Does it appeal to you?
Yes.
Okay. You're not quite so sure. Okay. Now, the reason why I look at these two definitions is because both of them are right, technically, in both ways, and they both have areas that are quite important. With the first, what strikes you about the first definition? Systematic. And when we say something is systematic, what do we mean? It has form. It's not haphazard. Yes. It follows a process. Yes, exactly. So the word systematic, it's quite interesting because I can tell you a number of people who believe that human resources is haphazard and is common sense, and there's no technicality or systems to it. Do you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people feel that human resource management definitely is not a profession. Anyone can do it. It's common sense. But this definition tells us that it's systematic. So it's a systematic approach. And somebody mentioned a keyword, processes. And when you say something is systematic, it also backs the fact that there's a body of knowledge called human resources management. And when we say something is a body of knowledge, that means that it has been tried and tested in terms of research has gone into it, insights have been developed. So it's not just a haphazard, common sense way, but it's obviously an approach that has systems, methods, in which results are actually achieved when you follow those systems and methods. I mean, that's quite interesting. Now, the other definition is quite different. I mean, what's the reference point when you look at this particular definition as opposed to the first one? What's different here?
Organizational goals.
I think the first thing is that it refers to human resources management as a function. So within an organization, it makes references to human resources as one of the functions. So it's now being recognized as a function, okay, that can exist. A function can be like a department, right? A team, meaning that a bunch of processes that belong to a particular part of the organization, a particular function of the organization. Now, but it says that this function does what? What's the focus of this function? Facilitates. And that's a very interesting word, because what does facilitate mean? When you say it facilitates.
Organize.
Yeah, organize is one thing. Yeah. When sorry?
Brings out.
Brings out, yes. When you facilitate, what do you do? Enhance.
Enable.
You help out, you enable. Yes, exactly. So it says that there's that function in organizations that facilitates the most effective use of people to achieve organizational and individual goals. Does something surprise you? Why does it combine? Why doesn't it just say organizational goals? Why does it say and individual goals? Couldn't it just be organizational goals? It's an interesting one. It could be. I mean, a lot of us, sometimes we act like it should be. But the minute we say an individual goal, what does it mean? What does this definition mean about human resources management?
It means you are the organization. It's two ways. We're
Yes.
in the middle.
Okay.
We are helping the organization and also the staff. So the organization is going to gain from manpower, but we also have to feel fulfilled.
Very interesting. Which is, I mean, when we read it now, it makes sense. Doesn't that make sense? That we, as well as fulfilling the goals of the organization, we're also trying to bring fulfillment to the, we should be anyway. Let me not say we are also. But isn't that interesting? I mean, does it make you see the role of human resources differently? Is this how you have been practicing human resources management? So, I mean, but that tells us something. And at the heart of human resources as a function, the goals of the organization are very key. I mean, that is what it says, the most effective. The reason why I'm spending time on this is because if you understand the foundation of human resources, then the rest of it is simple. Because we'll just keep on making reference to the purpose of human resources management. So if we understand this, then we're just going to basically fast track through the rest of the program. A lot of what we'll also do here might be a reorientation of already existing mindsets that we have. So it might take us some time to actually suck that information in and actually, assimilate it exactly. Because every time now and again, we need to be reminded what we're pursuing as human resources professionals. Okay? So it's an interesting concept that I like both definitions for one reason. I love this because it refers to it being a systematic approach. And I love this because it talks about a function that actually facilitates. And when you're a facilitator, it also shows there's a key thing about facilitating. You work with other people. You can't make it happen yourself. You need other people, but your focus is on helping those other people achieve the organizational goals, and also bearing in mind that they have to achieve their own goals. And it's not because they have to achieve their own goals just for the sake of it, because you know that when people are fulfilled, we need to understand human beings. When people are fulfilled, it's easier and it's more likely for them to enhance their performance. So it's not an end in itself, but it's because of also what happens as a result of people being fulfilled. So it's quite an important part, because when you're working with human beings, it's not the same as working with machines. You must understand that human beings often need reason and they need to be motivated to perform. Does that make sense? Okay, now we're going to look at what is referred to as human resources management cycle. And bear in mind that, whatever class that you go to or whatever training that you receive, you would always find that, there are different approaches. There's not one fixed approach. So everything that we're learning in this class is not restricted to, everything in human resources is not here. So we will be taking an approach. So this is one approach. And here what we're talking about is called the human resources management cycle. Okay? And the reason, when we say something is a cycle, what does that mean? What's a cycle? What does a cycle mean, as opposed to something that is static? It moves around and around. And what does it mean? It means it's continuous. A cycle is continuous, meaning it doesn't necessarily start and stop, and that's the end. It continues. So you find out that in human resources management, there are certain parts of human resources that are continuous. And even if we don't want to say that it starts at recruitment and ends at career management. No, it's a continuous process. Because you keep on recruiting people, don't you? People leave the organization, people's career, make career changes, people make career. So human resources management is like a cycle. Now, this HR management cycle shows where we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on key areas like recruitment and selection, training and development, performance management, reward management, and career management. Okay, but remember, it's a cycle. It doesn't happen. When it's a cycle, it doesn't happen in an order and keep filling that order. It means that it's a continuous process. Okay, so a key thing, and this is a very key slide, which I want us to bear a lot of focus in, because this shows that systematic approach that we talked about. When we said human resources is a systematic approach, take this to be those systems that we were talking about, those human resources management systems, those key HR processes, okay? And take this business strategy to be the key inputs. Now, if you look at this, and you take this to be a big system, which includes key human resources management processes, then what is the output? What's the output? This is the big process. This is the input, business strategy. What is the output? Remember when we looked at the second definition? The fulfillment, the key purpose was to achieve goals. The key purpose of human resources management as a function in an organization, the key purpose at the end of the day, we're doing all we are doing with our employees to achieve results. And that's why we have business results here. Every single person who is employed to do a particular job, at the end of it all, the reason why we all come together in an organization, the reason why we have a function called human resources, at the end of the day, what's the purpose? The key purpose of human resources, we have other departments, you have marketing, you have sales, you have finance, why do we gather all these employees together? That's the key purpose. So if we think about human resources management as a function with all these key processes, the output that we're striving to get are business results. But more interestingly, and this is where, sometimes human resources management that HR professionals face, sometimes those key issues are with the inputs. They fail to recognize that business strategy is the key input. Does that make sense? Let me explain myself. Now, if these are the things that you do in HR, your processes, you carry out training, you recruit staff, you manage the performance, how do you know how and in what manner to carry out your job if you don't understand where your business wants to go? Am I making sense?
Yes.
For example, how do you know how many staff you need? How do you know what type of staff you need when you don't really know your business's plans? How do you know what goals to set? What goals should I set for the sales team? Should I be trying to make 1 million or should I be trying to make 50 million? What kind of careers do we even have within this organization? Before I start managing people's careers, what are the possible careers that can exist in this business? What kind of rewards can I possibly give within this organization? And these rewards, what are they trying to motivate? What kind of behaviors are they trying to motivate? If we haven't defined at the onset what our business strategy is, then how can we be working within the human resources function? And a lot of us are here. We're working, but the most important input, which was our business strategy, we don't have. And okay, so for the point of discussion, what is a business strategy? What's a business strategy? Just so that we understand what this business strategy is. What's a business strategy? What does it mean? It's a plan. You know, and that is what it is. You know, sometimes when you hear the word strategy, you know, it makes you, it sounds so big. It's a plan. A plan. Some of you might have, you might hear your management discuss, we're going for management retreats. We're developing the plan for 2016, because it's 2015 now. That's a plan. And why does why do we need a plan? Why does management need a plan?
Because that's what will guide us.
Exactly. They're setting direction. Now, if you don't know the direction of your firm, my key question to you in human resources management, what are you doing? How did you even know what to do? You will be truly working haphazardly. There will be no system to what you're doing. Why? Because you're carrying out recruitment, you just wait for people to say, we need somebody. You don't know how they came about, they need the person. You're not even clear about what kind of people you need because it's not been explicitly defined. But if you knew the strategy beforehand, and even if it wasn't given to you, if you asked for it beforehand, you would know. They don't need to tell you who you need and where they need. You would have planned your recruitment strategy. You would have planned your performance management strategy. You would have planned your reward management strategy because you would try to synchronize or align your key HR processes with that business plan. Does that make sense? Yes. So your key role when you're carrying out these key activities in human resources management, which is what we're going to be focusing on, is for alignments with the business strategy. Because if we align with the business strategy, then we are sure, or at least more likely, to achieve the business results. Remember, at the beginning of the period, the performance period, whether it's an annual, a lot of organizations have annual goals. So let's take that you have a year to perform. There's a plan. Now, if you as a human resources management professional has taken into cognizance what that plan sets to achieve, then that means that you will more likely be working towards that plan. And if you're working towards that plan, then you're more likely to achieve the results that that plan set out to achieve. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So if your input is business strategy, and then you're working based on your knowledge and understanding of where the business wants to go, you're more likely to produce results. Does that make sense? Well, let me give you a simple example. Who likes plantain chips? Because I love plantain chips. It's obvious. Now, let me give you an example with plantain chips, okay? Because it's a very simple process. Now, the output is plantain chips, right? Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a key question. If we were going to make plantain chips, all of us in this class, we're going to make plantain chips. So our key process is the making of plantain chip. So making plantain chips, my favorite snack. In order to make plantain chips, what do we need? What should our input be? We need plantain. Definitely. Definitely, we need plantain. What else do we need?
Vegetable
Oil. What else do we need? At least those are the basic, I mean, yeah. Sorry, salt and pepper, yeah. For some people, salt. Some people even ginger, you know, because they're different flavors. But these are like the key ingredients that must go in so that we can make plantain chips. And we now start the process of making the plantain chips, obviously, which is frying. And at the end, what do we have? What do we have? What's our output? Plantain chips. Would you ever dream of making plantain chips without plantain and oil? No. So my question is, why in HR do we carry out our work without understanding what the business strategy is? You know what, when they say, you know the term when walking around like a headless chicken? That really is what will be happening. You'll find yourself in fire brigade mode. Because you've not really sat down. Imagine if you had sat down to make your own plans for the business. You would know in advance. There would be no recruitment that would happen that would take you by surprise. Of course, things change. For example, the facts may change, the economy may change. I mean, but if we could plan, the first thing you would be making reference to would be the business strategy, the business plan. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
If you don't have the business plan, what are we doing in HR? We're just, or should we say, use the word forming activity. You know, you're very busy, but you can't see results. And you're very busy. And not only can you not see your results, your manager or your management is always asking you, what are you doing in human resources? They don't understand what you're doing. You seem very busy, but they're not getting the results because there's no alignment. And you know, when there's misalignment, we might both be working hard, but we're not working hard towards the same goal. And that's why sometimes some HR professionals tell me, well, my organization doesn't have a plan. And you know what comes to my mind? I remember that second definition of facilitating. Make your management plan. That's your job. If you end up in an organization that doesn't have a plan every year, some organizations don't have the culture of planning. Yeah? Particularly in our environment. You know, we're not very good planners. We like to do things haphazardly. We like to work, you know. Now, as a human resources management professional who is trained, make that plan. Sell the idea to your management that it's important to always have a plan. Facilitate maybe the first retreats, the first management retreats that your organization ever had, or the first planning session your organization ever had. Because if you don't plan, or if they don't plan, they have a huge impact on your job. So your role, and you could see that in human resources, a big part of your role is always coaching managers, helping them achieve those goals, showing them how to. They might be good in their different areas, but they're not necessarily good. You're the professional when it comes to human resources management. You should be the professional. You should be the go-to person to help them achieve their goals. So you may not be the expert in knowing how to run the business, but you know that one of the key things any business should do is have a business plan. They might even have been thinking about it, but they didn't have time. Facilitates that process of helping them plan and be part of that process, of course. So you see why it's very important that we are very clear on our business strategy. Because if we are clear, this becomes very easy. Well, not very easy, but easier. At least when you know where you're going, it gives you a sense of direction. But if you don't know where you're going, every day you're looking for direction. But when you already have a plan for the business, a year, maybe a plan for a year, you can plan HR. And if you look at the center of this diagram here, you will see that at the center of your key HR processes, we have your HR, your human resources strategy. Because what you can do is once you see, or once they have the business plan, you can go and develop your own HR plan. And your HR plan is just your own answer to how you're going to achieve the business results through carrying out key HR processes. That's what your plan is. Because when you see a business plan, what does a business plan entail? Have you ever, some of us here have seen business plans. What do you have in a business plan? What are the key parts of a business plan? You might see things like a marketing plan. You will definitely see the financial plan. You understand? You will also see the human resource plan. They might be in summary, because some business plans are elaborate and some are quite, but that is the business's own plan. Now, when the business develops their plan, then what should you do? Exactly. Pick out your own bits and make your own plan. So that's your first goal. Wherever you find yourself, even if you met the organization halfway through the year, maybe you join them in July, there's nothing that stops you from saying, oh, I need that plan. Please, because you need it for the rest of the year. If you don't have a plan, you're not really working towards anything. That's the truth. So you need to understand this particular, because this is the backbone, this is a foundational material. And like I said, if we understand the foundation, the rest of the program, because we'll keep on making reference, you're going to see this slide a lot. Because everything we're doing, we will still be making reference to the business strategy. What is our business strategy? And when you go back to your organization, that's probably one of the key questions you will make reference to again. What is the plan? Because if you know what the business's plan are, you will know everything that at least you have a key idea of what your business is trying to achieve, and it will help you in human resources align to that.